A very good evening and welcome to the news tonight here on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tracy Shilchi and in the next 30 minutes I'll be getting you the day's top stories. Let's start with the headlines. Opposition slams the union budget in Lok Sabha, calls it directionless, but BJP MPs list out achievements of the government. BJP demands apology from senior Congress leader Ghulam Nabi Azad in Rajya Sabha over statements involving the RSS. Congress leaders deny comparing it with the terrorist organization, the ISIS. Lok Sabha's Ethics Committee asks Rahul Gandhi to explain if he had declared himself a British citizen. Congress calls the issue political vendetta. Wholesale price inflation remains negative for 16 months in a row, touches minus 0.91% in February over a fall in food prices. And the Ankara car blast toll touches 37. 70 people are hospitalized with injuries in an attack believed to be carried out by the outlawed Kurdistan People's Party. The Bharatiya Janata Party today demanded an apology from senior Congress leader Ghulam Nabi Azad in Parliament today, accusing him of drawing parallels between the BJP's parent body, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, the RSS, and the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, the ISIS. But Azad refuted the charge, stating that the ruling party was free to issue a privilege notice against him.
The BJP on Monday demanded an apology from senior Congress MP Ghulam Nabi Azad in Rajya Sabha.
What he is going to say?
Azad was accused of drawing a parallel between the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh or RSS and the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria or ISIS.
Now listen to him.
Azad's remarks came at an event reportedly held on Saturday. BJP Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi said the Congress owed an apology to the country.
कल बयान आता है एक
सुनिए
जिसमें कहा गया है कि आरएसएस और आईएसएस एक है और ये बयान कांग्रेस पार्टी की तरफ से आया है ग्रैंड ओल्ड पार्टी का ब्रांड न्यू सेकुलर फार्मूला कि आतंकवादियों को फूलों का गमला और राष्ट्रवादियों पर हमला, ये जो ग्रैंड ओल्ड पार्टी का एक ब्रांड न्यू सेकुलर फार्मूला है। इसलिए हमारी मांग है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी और ऑनरेबल लीडर ऑफ द अपोजिशन देश से माफी मांगे, क्योंकि उन्होंने एक ऐसी बात कही है जिससे देश में बेचैनी है, देश में आक्रोश है और देश में गुस्सा है।
Azad, however, denied comparing RSS with ISIS. He also submitted a recording of his speech in a CD before the House.
कोट अनकोट, हम ऐसी ISIS वाली जैसी संगठन है, कोट ये है, आप 10 दफा इसको सुनिए और फिर कमेंट पास कीजिए मंत्री जी। तो ऐसी ISIS वाली जैसी संगठन है, हम उनका भी उतना ही विरोध करते हैं जितना RSS का करते हैं। What is the comparison?
Refusing to accept the argument, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said Azad had in a way honored ISIS.
और उसकी तुलना करना कि it is like any other organization, मुझे लगता है आपने जाने अनजाने में ISIS को रिस्पेक्टेबिलिटी दी है इस बयान से, जिससे आपको बचना चाहिए था।
BJP MP said they were considering legal action against the Congress MP. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, the Congress today kept up its offensive on the Vijay Mallya issue, asking the government whether it will seek his deportation from the UK or put his case in cold storage by going in for his extradition, as it claimed was done in the matter related to Lalit Modi. Here's a report.
The Congress leaders on Monday raised the issue of industrialist Vijay Mallya leaving the country.
On the time of members who are given our notice, so tell me quickly.
The party accused the centre of changing the lookout notice issued against him and assisting his departure.
कह रहा हूं, विजय माल्या 10,000 करोड़ लेकर जब चला गया तो इन्होंने एक लुकआउट नोटिस जारी की कि उसे जहां भी इमिग्रेशन में मिले उसे गिरफ्तार कर लिया जाए। लेकिन चूंकि इन्हीं के टिकट पर, इन्हीं के समर्थन से वो जीत कर आया था, तो इन्होंने अपनी लुकआउट नोटिस को कैंसिल किया और ये कहा सिर्फ सूचना कर दिया जाए, जिसका फायदा उठाकर विजय माल्या 10,000 करोड़ का आरोपी देश छोड़कर भाग गया।
Deputy Chairman PJ Kurian told Tiwari not to raise the subject in the House. He said the issue should be sent to Ethics Committee of the House.
Tiwari ji, no. This issue was raised here, discussed here. I myself have given ruling that it should be referred to the Ethics Committee.
Congress members' protests over the issue led to a 5-minute recess before the end of 0 hour. Ravindra Sharan, Rajya Sabha TV.
And opposition parties criticized the general budget as well in Lok Sabha, stating that it presents a rosy picture, but it was just half-baked truths. The NCP also mocked the Achhe Din slogan of the government, saying that the good days had come only for the RSS, vis-a-vis the graduating from shorts to full pants. Taking part in a debate on Budget 2016-17, Tariq Anwar of the NCP targeted Prime Minister Narendra Modi for giving full marks to it, saying that he was acting as an examinee and as well as an examiner. Santokh Singh Chaudhary of the Congress called the budget anti-middle class, while Jai Prakash Narayan Yadav of the RJD described it as directionless and hollow. For the government, Ganesh Singh of the BJP listed the achievements and criticized the opposition for constantly criticizing the Prime Minister, even when, as he claimed, the Prime Minister was working for 18 hours a day to make the country a superpower. Poonam Mahajan of the BJP too found the budget extremely progressive and pro-poor, as it had addressed all sections of the society. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley too replied to the debate.
And it is now accepted that last year and this year, and hopefully next year, India has, in this atmosphere of global slowdown, the distinction of being the fastest growing major economy in the world. मैं आज भी मानता हूं कि जो इस देश की क्षमता है, आज इस मंदी के दौर में बाकी दुनिया की तरफ हम देखें, we compare ourselves to the rest of the world, we are doing well. We compare ourselves with our own standards, we can probably do better in a more helpful environment. And when I say helpful environment, I mean both globally a helpful environment and domestically at least an absence of an obstructive environment.
And Lok Sabha also saw Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi highlighting the plight of North Indian farmers. As soon as the House met for the day, Rahul Gandhi raised the issue of heavy rains and hailstorms in the region. He urged the centre to send a team to assess the damage and demanded a statement by Agriculture Minister Radha Mohan Singh in the House. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Venkaiah Naidu said that he had spoken with the Agriculture Minister, who is in touch with state governments. Rain and hailstorms lashed several parts including Delhi, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh and Haryana over the weekend and early this morning. According to reports, rains flattened wheat, mustard and coriander crops in the state.
बेमौसमी बारिश आई, उससे नुकसान हुआ, ओलावृष्टि हुई। अब इतने जबरदस्त जब गेहूं पकने पे था, इस प्रकार से हुआ और सरसों तो उसमें दाना ही पड़ चुका था। गेहूं का, सरसों का बड़ा भारी नुकसान है।
हम चाहते हैं कि सरकार जल्दी से जल्दी इस पे एक्शन ले, सेंट्रल टीम जाए, जिन प्रदेशों में नुकसान हुआ है वहां असेस करें।
एक मिनट प्लीज
वहां असेस करें।
आप बैठिए जी।
और जल्दी से जल्दी सरकार एक्शन ले।
पंजाब में पिछले 3-4 दिनों से जो बारिश पड़ी है वो तकरीबन 30 से 40 mm हुई है। इससे फसलों का काफ़ी नुकसान हुआ है। खासकर कई जिलों में तेज हवाएं चलने से और ओले पड़ने से लगभग जो कनक गेहूं की फसल है वो उसका लगभग 50% से ज़्यादा उसकी लॉजिंग हो चुकी है।
Pro-reservation parties today came down hard against the RSS for criticizing reservation demands by affluent sections, as the government assured that there would be no change in the reservation policy. At the end of a 3-day conclave on Sunday, the RSS had said that it favoured a study to ascertain whether backward classes are actually getting benefits of quotas and called for the need to eradicate caste-based discrimination.
जो संपन्न हैं, जिन्होंने तो अधिकार छोड़ने चाहिए, समाज के दुर्बल वर्ग की सहायता करनी चाहिए, उसके स्थान पर अपने लिए आरक्षण मांगना, मैं समझता हूं कि अंबेडकर जी के संविधान के द्वारा दिए हुए जो अधिकार है उसके संदर्भ में सोच की कमी है, ऐसा मैं मानता हूं।
A veiled but strong enough reference to the Jat agitation from the RSS, voicing a strong disapproval of reservation demands by the affluent. Joshi called for an end to caste-based discrimination. The issue echoed in Parliament, with Bahujan Samaj Party and Samajwadi Party leaders raising concern. The government was quick to reassure that there was no rethink on the present social and caste-based reservation policy.
जहां तक सरकार की स्पष्ट नीति है कि आरक्षण की मौजूदा व्यवस्था बनी रहेगी, हर हालत में बनी रहेगी, और जिस प्रस्ताव की आप जिक्र कर रहे हैं उस प्रस्ताव में भी वो नहीं कहा जो आप कहने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं.
Socialist parties like the BSP and SP had hit out hard at the RSS General Secretary's remarks.
आरएसएस के लोग जो इस किस्म की भाषा बोल रहे हैं कि आरक्षण का आधार आर्थिक होना चाहिए, वो असंवैधानिक भाषा बोल रहे हैं और मुझे नहीं लगता कि उनको संविधान के बारे में जानकारी नहीं है. उनको जानकारी है, वो जानबूझकर तो इस किस्म की भाषा बोलकर जो इन्होंने कुछ लगभग 1 साल से जो ये मुहिम चला रहे हैं कि आरक्षण की समीक्षा होनी चाहिए, तो ये उस दिशा में जा रहे हैं, उस दिशा में की तरफ ये मुड़ रहे हैं.
The RSS remarks on income-based reservation come in the wake of agitations by Jats, Kapus and Patidars to widen the ambit of caste-based quotas. Some months back, RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat had called for a review of who had benefited from reservations and to what extent. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
On to another controversy, and the citizenship row seems to have returned to haunt Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi once again. The Ethics Committee of the Lok Sabha has asked Rahul Gandhi to respond whether he had once declared himself a British citizen. Calling the issue a political vendetta, the Congress has denied the allegations.
The Ethics Committee of the Parliament served a show-cause notice to Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi. The panel asked him if he had declared himself a British citizen during his stay in the United Kingdom. The Congress reacted sharply, accusing the government of trying to divert attention from pressing issues facing the country.
जो व्यक्ति पैदाइशी हिंदुस्तान के हैं, उनके पिता, उनकी दादी प्रधानमंत्री रही हैं, क्या वो किसी और देश के नागरिक हो सकते हैं?
And why should Rahul Gandhi be afraid of answering questions? After all, these are all legitimate forums in Parliament, and he shouldn't be afraid of answering or facing such a forum.
The matter was first raised by BJP MP Mahesh Giri, who in the first week of January requested an appropriate inquiry into allegations made by his party colleague Subramaniam Swamy that Gandhi had declared himself a British citizen to float a firm in that country.
राहुल गांधी जी के ऊपर किसी तरह का आक्षेप नागरिकता के बारे में पूरी तरह से निराधार है, बेबुनियाद है और एक सिरे से खारिज किया जाता है.
जी हाँ, उसके माताजी का भी 17 साल तक 2 नागरिकता रही है, 2 पासपोर्ट रहे हैं, और अगर उसके बेटे का भी आया है तो ये सभी लोगों को देशभक्ति और देश के बारे में बात करने का कोई अधिकार नहीं है.
Headed by senior BJP leader L.K. Advani, the Ethics Committee has the power to expel a lawmaker.
राहुल गांधी जी यही जन्मे, यही हैं, संसद सदस्य हैं, और मैं इसे कहूँगा जिस किसी ने भी दिया है उसने अपने अधिकारों का दुरुपयोग किया है, और जैसे ही समिति में आएगा वो समाप्त हो जाएगा.
जो डॉक्यूमेंट पेश किए हैं, पब्लिक के सामने हैं, कोर्ट में हैं कि किस प्रकार से राहुल गांधी ने अपने को ब्रिटिश सिटीजन बताया है, वहाँ डॉक्यूमेंट के अंदर अगर उन्होंने ऐसा किया है, ये धोखाधड़ी है. न केवल ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट के साथ धोखाधड़ी है, इस देश के लोगों के प्रति धोखाधड़ी है, विश्वासघात है, और उसी के बारे में उनको जो नोटिस जारी किया गया है.
Responding to the notice, Rahul Gandhi rejected the allegations of impropriety and said he could deal with it. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
On to more news, and wholesale price inflation stood at minus 0.91% in February, marginally up from minus 0.90% in the previous month. With this, the index has been in the negative zone for 16 months in a row. The year-on-year wholesale price index base inflation for December was also revised to minus 1.06% from 0.73% announced earlier. Retail inflation in February fell to a 3-month low of 5.18% as food prices including vegetables, pulses and fruits became less costly. Retail inflation as measured by the Consumer Price Index or CPI was at 5.69% in January this year. In February last year, it stood at 5.37%. India today successfully test-fired its indigenously built nuclear-capable intermediate-range Agni-1 ballistic missile. The missile is capable of hitting a target 700 kilometers away. The surface-to-surface single-stage missile is powered by solid propellants. It was first test-fired from a mobile launcher from the integrated test range at Balasore in Odisha. The 15-meter-long Agni-1 weighs 12 tons and is designed to carry a payload of more than 1 ton. Its strike range can be extended by reducing the payload. The missile is also equipped with navigation system which ensures that it reaches the target. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry today banned 344 fixed combination drugs. The ministry said that the banned drugs involved risk to humans and safer alternatives were available for them. The ban comes into immediate effect and the ministry has come out with a gazette notification on the issue. According to the notification, an expert committee appointed by the centre has examined the issue. The 344 drugs included the fixed dose combinations like codeine syrup sold under the popular cough syrup brand Corex. Following the government ban, pharmaceutical major Pfizer has discontinued manufacture and sale of Corex with immediate effect. With that, let's take you through what else made news across the country today in Nationwide. The BJP government has set up a committee to look into the missing files in the Ishrat Jahan case. The files relate to the case of the alleged fake encounter in June 2002. A one-man committee comprising Additional Secretary B.K. Prasad will investigate the matter. The Defence Pension Disbursing Officers released revised benefits to 2 lakh people drawing service and disability pension. A Defence Ministry statement said that more than 1.46 lakh family pensioners will get the new benefits by the end of this month. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal today ordered the Divisional Commissioner A. Anbarasu to assess the damage to crops due to unseasonal hailstorm and rains. Last year, the AAP government had announced a compensation of 20,000 rupees per acre to farmers who faced losses due to crop damage. With a quick break here, we'll be back with more news in a bit. Stay with us.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries. Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 10:30 p.m. That clock ticked through the night. So much happened as you slept. So much you missed.
Wake up to a complete roundup of news from India and abroad. Politics, strategy, business, sports. Keen analysis to kickstart your day. Watch Breakfast News weekdays at 8 a.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
The sacred relics of Buddha were unearthed in Piprava in Uttar Pradesh. Buddhist monks from all over the world visit the National Museum to pay their respects. These charred bone fragments of Buddha are housed in the gold canopy gifted by the royal family of Thailand.
Welcome back. Let's get to international news now. And 37 people are now confirmed killed and more than 70 are still in hospital after a car bomb explosion in the country's capital Ankara late on Sunday. The attack, believed to have been carried out by the outlawed Kurdistan People's Party, is the third major blast in the city in the last 6 months, with the president calling the terror blast the outcome of instabilities in the region.
Mayhem in the aftermath. A car bomb tore through a crowded transport hub in central Ankara. Debris showered down over an area a few hundred meters from the Justice and Interior Ministries, a top courthouse, and the former office of the Prime Minister.
Yanımıza geldi. Arada bir saniye geçmeden arkada bir tane bayan vardı. Koltuk uçtu. Ben burama geldim. Burama bir şey girdi. Bir tane araba vardı. Araba patladı. Araba. Rengi siyahtı galiba. Rengi siyahtı.
The wounded were rushed to 10 hospitals around the city as the blast site was sealed off. Initial findings suggest one of the two suspected perpetrators was a woman who joined the Kurdistan Workers' Party (PKK) militant group in 2013. The toll has risen since Sunday night, with at least 9 others still critical.
Bu 30 kayıptan birinin kesin, ikincisi şüpheli, terörist olması söz konusu. Hastanelerimizde dün akşam itibariyle 4 vatandaşımızı kaybetmiştik. Bu sabah itibariyle biri Hacettepe'de, biri Numune'de, biri de Ankara Eğitim Araştırma Hastanemizde.
President Tayyip Erdogan blamed instabilities in the region, assuring a stepped-up fight against terror. This was the third terror blast in Ankara in 6 months. 29 people were killed in a suicide car bomb attack in the city in February, carried out by the same Kurdish group. In October, 103 people had died as Islamic State militants bombed a peace rally in Ankara. Turkey is part of the US-led coalition fighting the IS in Syria and Iraq. It is also battling PKK militants in its southeastern region. The NATO ally, which used to be the stable corner of the Middle East, is now at a dangerous moment and faces multiple security threats. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Meanwhile, the first of the 3 rounds of Syrian peace talks resumed today as the UN envoy for Syria, Staffan de Mistura, met the Syrian government delegation in Geneva. De Mistura said that the talks are intended to focus on future political arrangements in Syria that includes a new constitution and elections. De Mistura also suspended the first round of talks more than a month ago, citing continued violence and lack of humanitarian relief on the ground. The talks are the first to be held in more than 2 years and comes amid an unprecedented cessation in hostilities sponsored by the US and Russia and accepted by President Bashar al-Assad's government and most of his foes. The UN human rights investigator today called for prosecution of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and senior officials for committing crimes against humanity. Marzuki Darusman told the UN Human Rights Council that North Korea was devoting huge resources to developing nuclear and other weapons of mass destruction, even as many of its citizens lacked sufficient food and worked in slavery-like conditions. While referring to his report issued last month to a 47-member Geneva forum, Darusman reiterated his appeal to the international community to move forward to ensure accountability of the senior leadership of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The criticism came after North Korea warned that it could burn Manhattan down to ashes by firing a hydrogen bomb into the heart of New York City. Kim Jong-un's regime said that it was capable of sending the weapon to America's East Coast using one of its intercontinental ballistic missiles. All right, let's head on to sports now. And former world number 1 Rafael Nadal said that he will sue former French sports minister Roselyne Bachelot for her alleged remarks against him. The Spaniard was upset with Bachelot's comments, alleging that Nadal's 7-month absence in 2012 was probably due to a positive doping test. Bachelot made the allegations last week while addressing Maria Sharapova's failed drugs test. Nadal said that he is tired of the allegations and is no longer prepared to let them pass unchallenged.
There is a couple of times that I heard comments like this, and that's what this gonna be the last one, because I'm gonna sue her. I am tired about these things. It's the time to go against her. We're gonna sue her, and since the day of today, I tell you that everyone who has another comment in this way gonna happen the same, because that's too much for me.
And now let's give you some more updates from the world of sports in Sports Beat. 5-time world champion Viswanathan Anand played out a draw against Fabiano Caruana in the 3rd round of the candidate chess tournament. With the draw, Anand took his tally to 2 points out of a possible 3 and is assured to be in joint lead. Bangladesh has qualified for the Super 10 stage of the World T20 after registering a 54-run victory over Oman via the Duckworth-Lewis method in a rain-hit Group A match. Opener Tamim Iqbal in fact scored the first ton for Bangladesh in T20 as they reached 180 for 2 in their 20 overs. Oman were set a revised target of 120 from 12 overs due to rain interruptions, but they fell short of the target, managing only 65 runs in the stipulated overs. Arsenal were knocked out of the FA Cup after a 1-2 defeat against Watford in the quarter-finals. Odain Ngalo and Adeline Guidera then struck in the second half as Watford ended Arsenal's 2-year reign as FA Cup champions. This was the Gunners' first defeat in the competition since February 2013. Back to tennis, and world number 1 Novak Djokovic advanced to the third round of the Indian Wells after a 3-set victory over Bjorn Fratangelo of the US. 22-year-old American won the opening set before Djokovic regained his form and eased to a 2-6, 6-1, 6-2 victory. Fifth-seeded Kei Nishikori also reached the next round after cruising past Mikhail Kukushkin in straight sets. And that's all we have for you on the news tonight. Thanks so much for joining us.